So first and foremost, let me give you some actual tidbits that I did find out from the various content creators like Caboose, Evan, a bunch of different other creators, IGN, stuff like that, because like I said, they all had access to this game fairly early and were able to find out and share a lot of information because they had like a few actual hours of gameplay. Now, there's a new symbiote surge ability that's similar to the rage ability from the God of War games. And when looking at the actual footage, the way it works is he just like you throw two punches and then you immediately take the actual enemies out. It is solar powered, and the suit actually changes your appearance. It makes Spider-Man look more similar to Venom himself in like the spider emblem and his eyes. He just gets more like armored, and all of those like weird bits kind of disappear. It just looks fantastic. You can probably see the gameplay on the screen as I'm talking about all of these things. There's also an option to toggle fall damage on or off, which I think is pretty interesting. I'll probably keep fall damage on just for the realism, because if I fall off and my web swinging, is that bad, I should be punished for it. I want that kind of challenge. That sounds hilarious to me. Now, the other thing that's pretty interesting is the symbiote suit is just an alternate suit, right? You can use symbiote abilities with whatever alternate suit you want, which I find very interesting in a sense, because from what Caboose has said here, it seems that you can completely mix and match different abilities. So you could use the normal arms, like the mechanical arms, and symbiote abilities with any suit. And here's the kicker: when you've got a normal suit equipped, so let's say you've got the advanced suit equipped, if you use your symbiote surge, that will actually transform you into the symbiote variation, and then you will start doing that insane damage. So there's no direct switching from, like your normal suit to the symbiote suit, but with that rage mode, you can pretty much do that, right? It's got a cooldown, of course, that is very important. The other thing we did see is that the actual boss fights now in Marvel Spider-Man 2 have health bars, which is huge, because in Marvel Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales, we just kept punching the enemies, repeating things until we won. Not a really bad thing. However, you didn't really know what you were doing too much. You could see visual damage, but I like being able to see the actual health bar. I think that's fairly important to the actual game, and it's amazing to see that. Now, Miles/Peter, depending on who you play as, will sometimes join you during random crimes as well, which is where that takedown footage comes from, which is really interesting, and I find that really damn fun to see, because that's what we want, right? That actually makes it feel like there is Miles or Peter out there still doing their own thing while you're doing your own thing, and that just makes that world from Insomniac, seems so much more alive, and I am here for it, man. I'm here to see exactly how all of this goes, how it works out. I can't wait to see just how far this game goes, because they've been cooking, they've been killing it, and I'm seriously here for it. Now, Robbie Robertson narrates tidbits about New York City through a side quest where you take pictures of notable things, which I think that might be where you actually take photos of the buildings and things like that, kind of like how you did it in Marvel Spider-Man 1. Not 100% sure on if that's the case, but that is fairly interesting, because I always like things like little details like this, and the fact that Insomniac has gone that far when it comes to just little things like this outside of story mode gives me great hope and makes me super excited for what this game has to offer. I mean, I'm a number one stan, man. I love you, Insomniac. I wish I was there to play the game. However, I'm not disappointed, because I'm going to try to be there for Marvel Spider-Man 3, because we don't know what's happening, man. We all know, man. This is highly successful. We've got a new God of War definitely happening. Marvel Spider-Man 3 is definitely set. This game's going to break records, man. I'm telling you. Seriously, this game's probably going to end up being one of the greatest superhero games ever made, without a single doubt in my mind. Now, in a video from yesterday where I made a video called I watched Marvel Spider-Man 2 expanded gameplay in 0.25x speed, here's what I found. I noticed that there was those spider bots that, I pretty much theorized what they would be. The theory was, I thought that it was, a Spider-Verse related type thing, because there were spider bots related to Spider-Man 2099. The Superior Spider-Man, which is a multiverse character, like he shows up in the Spider-Verse in the comics as well, and what Caboose has actually said, he replied to a tweet by this person called Matt that was like, are these the Spider-Verse quests? And he said, it's what I'm talking about. You can collect different Spider bots that are tailored to several Spider people. So Penny Parker bot, Spider-Gwen bot, etc. After I collected a few, Genki called and said the signal from these bots was coming from millions of miles away, which kind of confirms my theory. I'm glad I was able to be confident enough to put that out there, because a lot of people were shutting that down. So what that means is that they're definitely going to be referencing the Spider-Verse in this game for sure, because it's a two-way street, right? Like, Insomniac Spider-Man has shown up in the actual movie itself, and being able to see that, you know, kind of pay off in the actual game, and see maybe how that even led up to it, because the Pete that we see in, you know, the movie could be from a bit later down the road than the one that we're seeing right now, dealing with all of these things, dealing with symbiote suit, you know, dealing with Kraven, you know, trying to help the Lizard, because from the footage that we've seen, he's actually like working with the Lizard to try help cure Harry because he's dying without the symbiote suit. So we're able to put quite a few little bits and pieces together. Now the other thing is, from seeing where the creators were and where they started playing the game, they actually started it at a pretty crucial point. From what Caboose said, they started in the point of literally, you know, it opens with like Kraven and symbiote suit Spider-Man facing off, and then Kraven uses the actual bell to weaken Spider-Man. Like the symbiote suit's like screaming, he's in pain, he's really weak, and it's interesting to see Kraven exploit that. Now we could get into, you know, theorizing if Kraven's Venom or not. I'm not going to talk about any of that, but they're insinuating that it is Harry. Who knows? Things could still go wrong. You know, the symbiote suit has been corrupting Peter. We've been watching it happen, and I'm really excited to see it. Like, it'd be pretty crazy if it's actually like Kraven that's Venom in this universe, because he sees the power of the symbiote suit and what it can potentially bring for him as well. The amount of power, the amount of, you know, just status, I guess. I mean, Kraven doesn't really care about that. He just cares about, you know, being able to hunt, and that's pretty damn cool. But what do you think of the symbiote surge as well? I think that's one of my favorite things. There's also some really interesting like haptic feedback features, where there was like this one thing where you have to pull down the actual like you get the controller and you have to like pull down on the triggers like just enough to be able to pull on this thing that was happening. It was like a, yeah, it's hard to explain, but you'll see it as I'm talking about it on the screen. I find that very interesting, and I'm really happy to see the innovations that Insomniac has been putting in with this game. I seriously can't wait to see what else they come up with. I will be reacting to some more gameplay, so stay tuned for that. Definitely let me know what you think of Marvel Spider-Man 2. Watch my video where I watched Marvel Spider-Man 2 expanded gameplay and give you details and all the suits that I noticed that were in the actual, you know, game so far. Thank you so much for supporting. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Peace.